Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by the Doctrinaires. Man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews is here. Lady of quite a few voices in her own right, Autumn Fisher joins us. And of course, the handsomest producer in all of producery, Jared Yamamoto.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. I know what everybody's talking about this morning, huh? How about that clash at Daytona? Woo! What? No? They started with over 20 cars. They ended with only 5. It was ridiculous.
The crash, you mean?
The crash. That's what they're calling it. I'm sure there's a hashtag, because some NASCAR fans know how to work the computer. I'm sure there's a hashtag about...
it's number 1 right now.
The crash. It was a little bit ridiculous. One of the crashes that took out 5 or 6 cars happened during a restart. They didn't even get to the first corner. But I know I'm the only one watching that. Trae Young, was it last night?
That's right.
48 points. Still took 2 overtimes to beat the Knicks.
Hey, we got the W, though. We got it, Eric.
When is Clint Capella going to be here? After the All-Star break?
He can't get here soon
No,
enough.
he cannot get here soon enough.
You've seen the billboards around
Dre.
town? Have you seen the billboards around town for
he's
him?
going to make a difference. I don't know how much, but they made the team better with him. He's going to make a difference. Before we get to the headlines, I want to say that I had a moment. When you're the old double nickel, as I am, 55 years of age, that's creeping away. Soon it will be gone. I like being the old double nickel, but I only have a couple months of it left. So I'm at the doctor on Friday. And I had one of those moments. Maybe it was the first of many where I just shook my head and I said, Doc, I'm getting old. So he came and he said, the good news is you're not dying. But we also, and it's funny whenever doctors tell you the thing that's kind of embarrassing that you have to have done, first they give you the real clinical version. We're going to have to do an endoscopy, simnopoli. I said, is that when you put a camera up my... He said, yeah. And I said, Doc, I'm getting old. It's time for the Johnson cam, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to put it on the internet. Remember when, didn't Katie Couric, didn't she have the what do you call that? It was the camera.
She had colonoscopy.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't she do, hers was like live or something.
One of the first.
Show.
Yeah, one of the first.
Maybe we should see if we can hook up with my doctor. And,
I've got the cord over here. We do Facebook Live.
Yeah, he said, well, he's not going to come here to do it. I have to go to his office.
No, you can bring the cord with you.
Just a second, Dr. Ed here.
Oh, no, I don't need doctor.
I can make it.
Erectile dysfunction staff
I got a
expert.
straw and an Instamatic
Dr.
camera.
Ed, you're creeping me out. No, it's all right.
Talk to you later.
You're talking to me about doing Polaroids. Just seems weird to me.
Well, yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Headlines for Monday, February 10th.
That's right. Yeah, Doc, I'm getting old.
I'd say it happens to all of us.
The old Johnson cam.
I'll help you if you need help.
No, I'll be all right. I have a...
Rub your shoulders through the whole thing. You'll be all right.
Dr. Ed, I don't need your help.
Give you a topical.
Topical.
Ooh.
That's the show is topical.
Understood.
Speaking of topics, that's what we do, right? It's talk radio. Hey, sometimes Mark Aram will say, hey, buddy, what's your topics? I don't have topics.
It's on the big show today.
I don't know. Whatever. And he's like, oh, he always thinks I'm avoiding him. But I don't know. I want to talk about things and stuff. What are we going to talk
You
about?
don't want to tell me?
No. Is that your female Aram? It's female Aram.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Yes.
Hey, baby.
Hey, you don't want to tell me?
What's for dinner
no,
tonight,
that's
honey? Hey, honey, what's for dinner tonight? Because I'm here and you're there making dinner.
Yeah, I got a big steak here for you.
That's nice. All right.
We've got our snackable content all filled up and ready to go, Eric.
All right. As long as we have things to talk about, I'll fill time until midnight or noon.
Here's topic number 1.
I'm sorry. I got my mind on that Johnson cam.
Don't worry, it's an easy procedure.
He says it's not going to hurt at all. It'll sedate me.
The way he does it, no. The way I do it, you'll be fine.
No, Dr. Ed. I do not need your help. You're just
I
creeping
mean,
me
Dr.
out.
Ed likes for you to feel a little pain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to get some results right here in the
You won't let
studio.
me. You won't let me leave the studio
No,
until I get
I want you
results.
results.
Our erectile dysfunction staff expert,
How you
Dr.
doing,
Ed.
Jared?
Hey,
No
Dr.
problems, I assume.
I'm good. I promise
He
you. I
keeps
assure
wanting
you.
Jared to remove his top. I don't know what that's
Well, that
about.
helps.
Maybe it does. All right, what do you got?
All right, here's topic number one. Atlanta.
No, it's not time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't change. Don't change the channel. This is not a hackneyed radio show. We are not going to spit topics at you. Yes, first story.
All right, Atlanta public schools would no longer recognize Columbus Day as a school holiday under a proposed calendar change. It looks like this is definitely going to happen.
All right, what do we... well, first of all, I want to say that upsets people. We all grew up. I grew up... When I was growing up, Christopher Columbus was presented to me as a hero. I don't know, one time I was talking to my son, who's now 22. I think it was when he was like 15 or 16. I brought up Columbus. Oh, I just hated him. Hated him. I used to cut people's hands off for no good reason. You know, and you try to go, well, it was a different time, but it's kind of hard. When was the time when cutting people's hands off was a good idea?
Pretty recently in some countries.
Well, yeah, still to this day, but it's not something that we consider a good idea.
No.
So, yeah, I don't think Columbus is very well liked anymore. And what I would say to people is, you got to choose your battles. I don't think this country is long for Columbus Day. And when I say long, I mean like 20 years from now or 25 years from now. I don't. But here's the thing: what are they going to change it to?
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! Well, how about crisscross applesauce day? Or what do you do in Columbus, Ohio? Indigenous Peoples, Ohio.
What about Columbus, Georgia, Eric?
Indigenous Peoples, Georgia.
IPGA.
I just think it's one of those things where I understand why people will get upset about it, but I just don't see that one lasting. It turned out he was pretty nasty to people. Now, was that the whole story? I don't know. But here's the fact. He didn't even land on shore of what we call America. So he got it wrong. He thought he was in India or something, didn't he?
Spanola.
So I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of energy. There's plenty of conservative talk show hosts that will lose their minds about this today, and I'm sure you'll find that all very entertaining, but I would just be making it up. So
The important thing is that the kids will still get October 12th off.
yeah, how about that? Nobody wants to. Oh, you know what? Let's just have one less day off. Nobody's going to be for that. How about we all work? Here's a good trade-off. All right. So conservative traditionalists might want to keep Columbus Day, whereas people on the left just want to change the name. Here's a good trade-off. Give the conservative traditionalist another day of productivity in the United States of America, and it's a win-win, right? You don't have the Columbus Day, and we get, but no, it's going to be, although it's going to be Poor People's Day. It's the day where we celebrate being poor in America, which is, we don't do that enough. We don't celebrate being poor in America enough. It's really something that we...
You should be proud.
Yeah. I'm proud to be poor in America.
I'm rich at any wealth.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Like healthy at any size?
Wealthy
Yeah.
at any size.
Wealthy at any size. Absolutely. I mean, Bernie is out there. He's mad about how many billionaires?
40 billionaires.
40.
40 billionaires.
Including the one running against me.
40 billionaires.
He's mad because Pete Buttigieg, or as he says,
Pete Buttigieg.
That's not how you say it.
Pete Buttigieg.
Not how you say it. Everything Bernie does, he gets wrong. It's boot edge edge.
Boot edge edge.
See?
Boot edge edge.
Pete Buttigieg.
Boot edge edge. Boot edge edge.
so he's mad that Pete Buttigieg is taking money from
40 billionaires.
40.
Are there there's 40 billionaires behind. How many do we have in America?
Lots. Too many.
We can't have that many in America.
528.
If he's got 40 billionaires,
607.
That's
Yeah.
the total number?
Yes, in the
that's
U.S.
a lot to have 40 billionaires.
40 billionaires.
The rest of them are all running for president.
Pete Buttigieg.
Boot edge edge.
That's
Boot
better.
edge edge.
Edge edge.
I like Pete. That's how Cardi B say it.
She
Pete
taught him
Buttigieg.
that.
What is it? Cardi B, how do you say it?
It's okay. First of all, it's Pete Buttigieg, and second of all, it.
Pete Buttigieg.
You know, Cardi B.
I can't do that.
Cardi B already came out and endorsed Bernie Sanders, so this is a fight for her. She's out there fighting for Bernie.
Yeah, she doesn't want those 40 billionaires.
40 billionaires.
No, because I'm one of them billionaires now.
40 of them.
You know, I don't think that's good. I just don't think that most people in America hate all billionaires. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think there's still a lot of people in America like, hey, man, if he can get $1 billion, everybody wants to go after Jeff Bezos. He started that company in his garage. I think a lot of people still celebrate the fact that you can start a company in your garage and become the richest man in the world. It's something to strive for, but not Bernie.
40 billionaires.
Who was that?
Pete Buttigieg.
Nah.
Boot edge edge. Boot edge edge.
All right, where are we? I know I jumped ahead of you. You weren't into politics yet, and I jumped the topics.
No,
on you.
you missed the big story from yesterday, Eric.
Oh, is it this?
No, that was last Sunday.
Pete.
The partisan forces of hell.
I'm sorry, Shakira's turkey call tells me we have to we have to go to break.
Nobody tweaks your funny bone like these guys. Eric Von Haessler, weekday mornings at 9, and Mark Aram, weekday evenings at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
Alan Hunt, the man who flies the spaceship, tells me that this came out 42 years ago today, which is another indication as to why I have to get the Johnson cam soon. Because I'm getting old, because I think I was about 14 years old. Done.
I'm also getting old.
Oh, David Lee Roth, you're getting old too. So. All right, what are we talking about here? What do you got?
All right, the Oscars were full of red
Did I miss those again?
Yeah, that was last night.
Shucks.
There was some red carpet magic, and Parasite cleaned house.
Oh, yeah, Parasite.
You called it.
It wasn't hard to call. I saw the winds of change coming.
You called
And I did call it.
Don't dismiss yourself like that.
It wasn't my favorite movie. I loved it. I thought Parasite was a great movie. It's worthy. Jojo Rabbit. But the guy who made Jojo Rabbit, he got an Oscar.
Yes, he did.
I liked when he was asked after he got the Oscar. This is in his acceptance speech. I can never say his name. Was it Waiki Takiti or something like that? Waku Takiti?
Taiki Watiti, I believe.
Something like that. He's New Zealand. He's from that Flight of the Conchords bunch.
He's from New Zealand.
And
Eat, Brie.
can you do a New Zealand as opposed to Australian accent?
Cheese, Brie.
Yeah. Is that all you can say?
Jeez, Breet.
Hello, team. This is Charles, come from Moore FM in Wales, in Christchurch.
I'm just going to call this guy Walkie Talkie.
I like
Waiki
that.
Takiti or whatever. So Walkie Talkie, who directed my favorite movie this year, Jojo Rabbit. So what did he win for? Best Adapted Screenplay or something? Because it was a book before he turned Jojo Rabbit into a movie. So he was asked afterward, what advice does he have? Oh, no, what could be done to help out young writers or something like that? And he said Apple needs to get rid of that horrible keyboard.
They've gotten worse. That makes me want to go back to PCs, because PC keyboard, the bounce back on for your fingers is way better. And the hands up who still uses a PC. You know what I'm talking about. It's a way better keyboard. And those Apple keyboards are horrendous.
They certainly are. You know, I almost they have a new iMac Pro, and it's pretty expensive. And I just bought this iMac Air, which is great, except for it's got that old keyboard. I think they've gone back to the new keyboard. I mean, if you haven't, it really is. With these keyboards, you know what death feels like. Can I say that? You know what death feels like because you're padding along and then all of a sudden you hit like a P and it's like it's not there. Is it? You want to keep hitting it like 3 times, but you look up and it actually did register a P. It's. I mean, when we're dead, we're not there, right? So the one upside of the Microsoft keyboard is you can actually feel what death feels like.
It is interesting, the keyboard thing, because when I go to a Goodwill or just a thrift store,
Yeah.
I love going to that weird electronics section and just chomping down on those old keyboards.
Oh, is that what you do?
They sound so good and they feel so great.
Are you talking about like for typewriters?
No, not a typewriter.
Oh, okay.
Just those beige keyboards.
Oh, you're talking about the big ones, like the big buttons, or like
Yes.
The old Dells.
yeah.
God, those feel so great.
They had springs in them or something.
Yeah. Well, they had
Amazing.
it. I don't know why they changed. This was the Apple years ago changed over to this new thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it was supposed to be better. But it doesn't have that spring back. And a lot of times you just hit it down and you just don't feel like it did anything. And it's like you're touching death.
Nothing is better in a movie when someone is behind a desk and you're asking them for help and they have to like Okay, 1 second. And they have and they're chomping down on those keyboards.
What are the schematics? 24. What are the schematics?
Chloe.
Yeah.
Chloe. I was going to say Claire. What are the schematics? I only watched one season of 24.
It didn't change.
Yes, it was apparently. I remember one season of the nuke went off in L.A. and then like 3 or 4 episodes later, there was a conversation between Chloe and her boyfriend about the fact that he was drinking again, and then he needs to go back to his AA meetings.
Excuse me, he was her ex-husband.
Okay, but here's the thing: it's supposed to be 1 hour for every episode, so 3 weeks in, you're still only 3 hours from a nuke going off in L.A. Don't you think that you'd have better things to worry about? Hey, you drinking again? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like,
Whatever. We have bigger fish to fry.
The whole movie should just be traffic jams and riots in the street. All 24 episodes.
Yeah, I know the restaurant's on fire, but could you put the fork a specific way on the table?
Can I get some more water?
I noticed you're drinking. I noticed you're drinking again. Hey, did you notice that the nuke went off in the middle of the city? All right.
But there were
Drinking water is poison.
But unlike the Grammys,
Wait, hold on. You bring up a good point. At that point, you're best off to drink alcohol because it's
Exactly.
not radio.
Now you're back in the time when people drank beer because the water was too dangerous.
Yeah, that was a good time. Medieval England.
Medieval England.
Arr. I don't know why I thought they were all pirates back then. Yes.
Now
He's
that-
all right, most of them were.
now there
Medieval England.
But evil.
Now, there were political moments during the Oscars.
Were
last
there?
night.
Well,
Of course-
you tell me these actors didn't just go up there and show appreciation and walk off, but they had to lecture some people.
Oh, yeah. Brad Pitt started us off
Well,
with
Brad Pitt is not only an actor, but he is a very well-known political scientist.
They told me I only have 45 seconds up here, but she was 45 seconds more than the Senate gave John Bolton this week. I'm thinking maybe Clinton does a movie about it, and in the end, the adults do the right thing.
What is that that thing at the end? Does he mean that you go back and kill all the people who are doing it wrong? Because play that again.
They told me I only have 45 seconds up here, but she was 45 seconds more than the Senate gave John Bolton this week. I'm thinking maybe Clinton does a movie about it, and in the end, the adults do the right thing.
So if I go by what he did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and what he did in Inglourious Bastards
And Django.
So basically, he would massacre everybody who voted against the idea of John Bolton. Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong? That's what I'm taking from this.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
He should make a movie where they get all the Democrats out of the State of the Union and then they go all in on
A
it.
big fire. What is the fire thrower?
I don't care as long as they just do it.
This is your political stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want an Oscar.
Yeah, you're really smart about politics and stuff.
Hey, man, that's more than you said about Iowa.
Yeah, get him.
Wow.
Right.
At least you made sense while you were up there.
At least I did.
Oh, the music's coming up. We can't get to Joaquin Phoenix.
I gotta go.
Wait, Brad Pitt.
What?
I don't care how stupid you are about politics.
Thank you.
I just want to let my audience know something.
Sure.
If you're in a good movie, I'm going to watch it. I don't
Cool,
care.
man.
You're a moron.
Thank you.
But you're a very good actor.
Thank you.
You're a very good acting moron.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
get to Joaquin Phoenix strangeness when we get back. All right. Joaquin Phoenix was, they say that he's a method actor, but I think he's just himself. He's as strange when he's not in an acting role as he is in any acting role.
It's Brad here.
Brad Pitt?
here.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want everybody to know we've been back from commercials for like 20 seconds, man, and which is longer than John Bolton got at the impeachment.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Yeah, see, your thing could work
Yeah,
for
you
any
already
amount.
said that joke.
Yeah, any stretch of time.
I don't think it's a joke.
Yeah, we get that any stretch of time would work for that because you got zero. I
All
get it.
right.
All right. Thank you, Brad Pitt.
I'll be around.
Yeah, you're a really smart guy. You know
I know,
that.
man. Thanks.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
Congratulations on that Oscar.
Thank you.
Hey, can you wash your hair, man? You
Thank
stink.
you.
You stink.
Thank
dude.
you. It looks great. I thank you. Thank you.
Joaquin Phoenix. So he did. I mean, I guess you could say he got political in a way, but he's just a strange dude. He's as strange as Joker and any of that great movie that he was in that was kind of based on the Scientology guy. But I mean, he's just weird. I loved that, and I liked his. I wasn't a big fan of Joker the movie, but I thought he was great. Deserves the Oscar. But I didn't like him as Johnny Cash. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan, and I just thought that was like the Joaquin Phoenix story. Johnny Cash didn't act like that. Anyway, that bothers me a little bit. But so he gets up there, and I guess you could call this political, but he's speaking out in favor. Like he's against cow abuse, right?
We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we steal her baby, even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. And then we take her milk that's intended for a calf, and we put it in our coffee and our cereal.
Is he just getting ready for his next role? You just
It's a movement.
Like the tortured environmentalist.
It's a movement.
I get it, a movement.
When the sky cries, we harvest its tears for our nourishment. Instead of replenishing our streams and rivers, we wash our cars and flush our toilets. Because of this, I promise I will not flush or use a toilet until we've solved the crisis.
No more showers. I think you got that one down already.
I'm bathing in a river without soap.
I mean, just, when you make a lot of money, you have a lot of time to think about a lot of things. And we could all think about, the unmistakable cries of the mother. Look, if I told you that this was a scene from Joker, so that's what I say. They say he's a method actor. I think he's just being himself in all these roles. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at a great scene from the Academy Award-winning Joker.
We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we steal her baby, even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. And then we take her milk that's intended for a calf, and we put it in our coffee and our cereal.
Couldn't that have been
so dark? That movie's so dark.
Couldn't that have been the actual material he used in the stand-up club that night?
Definitely.
Yeah. And when the pigs give birth, we take them, and then we have suckling pigs, which is super delicious.
Oh, so you're not against that?
No.
He loves pork.
Pork is the other white meat.
Why does it have to be white meat? I mean, come on, man.
It's healthy. Pigs don't eat all the corn.
So you're in favor of cows, but not pigs.
Like, we ripped the baby away from the cow.
Are you okay?
No, this tuck stinks.
What does Brad Pitt think of this?
I think the amount of time it took for that cow to give birth, which is like 20 minutes, was way more than John Bolton got at the impeachment thing.
Hey, you bring up a good point. Michael Bolton was not subpoenaed either, so neither of them got any time.
Every impeachment trial since Nixon has given more time to cows giving birth than they did to Michael Bolton.
I mean,
Thank you.
What do John Bolton and Michael Bolton have in common?
What?
Neither of them had any time to speak to the impeachment trial.
That's what we've been saying. Thank you. I don't want to get political.
All right, Brad Pitt, I understand, man.
Thank you.
How things going with you and what's-her-face from the morning show, Jennifer Aniston?
We're friends again, man.
Yeah,
so
friends with benefits?
No, she's too old.
No.
Yeah, they showed a shot of you when Joaquin won, and you were a little upset because your buddy Leo was up for that same for Actor of the Year.
Yeah, but I'd ride his coattails all the way.
Yeah, is it Actor of the Year or Best Actor? So
Actor of the Year, yeah.
Actor of the Year, is that the same as Best Actor?
I think it's the same. Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, Actor of the Year,
Joaquin, your tux stinks. It looks good, but wow.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is not a guy that you would imagine is. He may care about the cows, I think, more than his own personal hygiene, I would guess.
I was going to say that John Bolton got more time at the Senate impeachment trial than Joaquin spent on washing his body.
Which is none, right? I just want to make sure I get your joke, Brad.
Thank you.
That was a little weird. That one was a little hard to follow, but
I'm not a comedian. I'm an actor.
Okay, but and a political savant.
Something.
Of some kind.
Yeah. Good movie, though.
Are we? So Parasite is very good. I would tell people, even though you got to read it, it's well worth it. It moves very fast. So drink some coffee because you got to read fast because it's very fast. It's not. You all right? It's not one of those foreign language movies that's real slow and like a woman sitting on the side of the bed with, barely any light coming through the windows. I'm really depressed. It's a very fast moving movie. I like Jojo Rabbit better, but hey, Parasite's great. All right, what else you got?
Well, the other thing that came out of it too was Billie Eilish's cover of Yesterday. Apparently everyone loved it.
You know what people were really surprised by? Apparently, Eminem showed up. I didn't watch any of this, by the way. Eminem shows up and he sings the song that he won the Oscar for 12, how many years ago was it that 8 Mile came out? And people seem genuinely confused. Why is he singing this song now, reminding people that he won an Oscar? And it's kind of weird, but then Martin Scorsese fell asleep. There's a meme. Eminem is going crazy, and Scorsese has his eyes closed. I don't know if he fell asleep.
Man.
So I watched it, and what they were playing beforehand was they were showing how sound impacts movies and how you associate those songs with each movie.
Okay.
And then it was a setup going to him playing his live
because that
performance.
movie 8 Mile, man, it's lasted. People still talk about it. It's on everybody's. They'll be teaching that in film school for the next 50 years. I never saw it.
Wow, someone was down and out and then somehow made it better by the end of the movie.
His mom's spaghetti gave him the power that he needed to rap that song and win an Oscar 20 years ago.
Brad Pitt, man, thank you. You know a lot about everything.
I do, man. Thank you.
And you know how.
Joaquin, do you have any feelings about the tomatoes that were ripped from the ground to make that pasta sauce?
I don't know.
I think that Joaquin Phoenix is one of these actors that knows he has to keep himself miserable for inspiration. You know how some artists, they'll have like a mistress or somebody as a muse that they can write to or whatever. I think that Joaquin Phoenix's muse is his own misery. And so he just has to, if he can't think of something like he's rich, he can do what he wants. So he's got to start thinking about the cows. Right. And how we rip the babies from the cows. Although, what does he say? Their cries are audible, or it's obvious that they're crying.
We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow. And when she gives birth, we steal her baby. Even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. And then we take her milk that's intended for her calf, and we put it in our coffee and our cereal.
So I think if I could sum up what Joaquin Phoenix is saying there, his message is check your milk privilege. Which, by the way, would be a good name for today's podcast, Milk Privilege.
Now, I like 2%.
Okay, Brad, we don't really have to know everything you think about everything.
It's good. It's less cream, but you get organic. You can't tell.
Yes.
No, the other thing that people are talking about
2% is 2% more than the percentage of time that John Bolton was given to speak to the...
In fact, the amount of time that he had in front of the Senate was skim.
Is there anything less than skim? Is skim the least?
Yeah, just water.
Water milk. And Joaquin doesn't like that because that's the sky's tears, and we just harvest it.
The sky's tears. They sound so much. We harvest its tears for our nourishment. I promise I will not flush a toilet until award season is over.
You guys are doing your best. You know my favorite leading up to this guy. What's the director's name of Parasite? The South Korean director, and TMZ was chasing him around. And because he's had to deal with this award season. You know, these directors, they made that movie like 2 years ago. He's on to something else. But what I like is he gets off at LAX and the guys from TMZ, hey, yeah, think you're going to win the best? And he's like, is it over yet? Like, you can tell this guy is so sick of doing these interviews and everything. Is it over yet? I want to go back to doing he's like, I want to go back to making movies.
Yeah, and he's getting interviewed by a guy with an iPhone screeching at him. Hey!
Those TMZ guys are so unctuous. Like, I'm your friend. I'm trying to get you to say something that will ruin your career, but I'm your friend. Right.
Now, the other moment that everyone's talking about is Billie Eilish's cover of Yesterday.
Yes.
And here it is right here.
Say this. People say it was a good performance. It's weird to have her sing it because what is she longing for when she was 13?
Yes,
she's 18. What? How? You don't have many yesterday.
My Lunchables were thrown away.
Been a tough life.
Now my Capri Sun is in the trash. My mom won't buy me Dunkaroos. Duh.
Well, you got to say this. McCartney's lost his voice, so she can sing it better than him at this point. McCartney, yesterday,
all my troubles. Let's do it to it. Sleep so far away.
Here you go. She's right here, Billy.
My iPod ran out of battery.
Now she's making up some loop-de-doops.
I couldn't find my charger.
Suddenly.
Duh.
sounds good enough to me. You know, I thought it was an interesting thing I saw this morning is they had a stage handler go out in the middle of the song and wake her up. Which I thought was,
Oh, my stage hands forgot to wake me up. And I fell asleep on my piano.
You don't
Oh, I fell
during the Oscar. Billy.
Duh.
That's her alarm clock.
Something wrong. Now I love for yesterday.
That's the alarm. That's the Billy alarm. Wake her up.
Duh. Where's my brother?
The Von Haessler Doctrine.
They have such a beautiful chemistry.
Making listeners laugh every day.
The world could use a little more of that these days.
9 to noon on 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Finding out that the pilot of the spaceship, Alan Hunt, big fan of this Van Halen album that came out 42 years ago. Great times, huh? I remember, was Dance the Night Away on this one or the next one? I don't remember. I remember being so anti-disco. I was like 14 or something, 34. That when Van Halen hit the radio with Dance the Night Away, I was like, well, I'm done with them. Dancing, I'm against it. I was no, disco is about dancing, and now Van Halen's talking about dancing. I don't know if I mentioned what a moron I was in my teenage years, but I think that's a good illustration. That's a good primer for exactly how stupid I was in my teenage years. You know, I see now it's Taika Waititi, right? That's the
director for Jojo Rabbit, right?
Yeah, great movie. I love that movie. And so I got it wrong because I said Waika Takiti.
I liked Walkie Talkie.
Yeah, I can't do it that now because it's T first. So it's
Talkie-walkie.
I'll call him Talkie-walkie.
Reductionist.
And he made that. Thank you. Thank you for educating me.
You're welcome.
He talked about how bad the Apple keyboards were after. And Autumn was telling us that she gets really turned on by the old-fashioned keyboards.
Love it.
So got this for you, honey.
Oh, how great. Hold on. Yes. Well, I can get that plate for you right away. Hold on. Well, let me check the baby.
You missed those days.
Yes, amazing.
I remember
That's a little too fast. Let's slow it down.
when Rodney Ho used to.
Oh yeah.
When he used to care about my radio career.
Yes.
He doesn't call me anymore. I am taking over the damn world with this radio show, and I never hear from him.
How you doing?
Yeah, but he would call me.
There's no drama in success.
I guess he would call me, and then he would be talking to me, and then I would realize that as he's have a conversation, he'd say, "So how do you feel about how's the radio show going?" And as I'm talking to him, this is what I hear. It's weird to be talking to somebody on the phone. Yeah. Okay. Well, what more do you have to say?
You like WSB?
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, it's great.
God, I love that.
Do you get all sexed up?
Rainforest. Oh yeah.
Get all sexed up
It's
when you hear that
raining.
keyboard.
Ooh, what's the mellish meter?
Yes. Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Hey, are you Mike Blumberg? Are you Mike Blumberg?
Pardon?
Are you Mike Blumberg?
I'm Mike Blumberg.
I thought you were Mike Blumberg.
I'm Mike Blumberg.
You sure you're Mike Blumberg?
I told you I am Mike Blumberg.
Are you the one and only Mike Blumberg?
That's right.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
I'm Mike Blumberg, and I approve this Blumberg.
So you're Mike Blumberg.
I'm Mike Blumberg. I'm Blunk. Do you need some money? I'm going to give everybody who votes for me $1,000.
Mike Blumberg?
Mike Blunk. Mike Blink Blong.
You got to do things, right?
I'll do things. When they send me to Washington,
Mike Blumberg
will do Blumberg.
You're going to do things.
Mike Blumberg will do things and such.
You get things done.
Things will get done.
By Mike Blumberg.
Mike Blumberg.
President Blumberg.
I'm Mike Blumberg.
Mike Blumberg.
In case you haven't turned on your TV in the last 2 months, I'm Mike Blumberg.
You know, it's kind of sad. It's sad in a couple of ways. Because Jared will have no idea who this is. But not only did Orson Bean, who was a fixture in American television 70s, 80s. Then he was in Being John Malkovich. I didn't watch Desperate Housewives, but apparently he was in that as well. He kept himself, this Orson Bean, one of the greatest Match Game 75 contestants, as I recall. Now, this is the thing. He died. He was 91 years old, but he got hit by a car at 91. Hit by 2 cars. Was killed by the second car. 91 years of age, and apparently healthy. I don't know about fit as a fiddle. I was going to say fit as a fiddle. I don't know at 91 anyone's fit as a fiddle, but apparently he was very healthy.
Yeah.
What a way to go to 91 years. And Jared doesn't have any idea who he is. Let me tell you what. When Orson Bean and his wife showed up on Tattletales, you could tell that Bert Convy was happy. Does that mean anything
You're
to you?
speaking a different language.
I might as well be speaking Chinese.
He was a raconteur.
He was Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
He was a raconteur.
Cool.
Yeah, he was a raconteur.
He was great.
He was a raconteur.
Do they have raconteurs anymore? People who just kind of like good storytellers? Brad Pitt, maybe.
Orson Bean.
Orson Bean. I was telling you, we lost Orson Bean. I always liked Orson Bean when I was a kid. I just always... Who?
Leo
DiCaprio.
I
don't think he shows up on talk shows and just tells great stories.
No, he does.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he does.
This guy was great on Super Password.
Super Password. There
Leo
you go.
wasn't on that.
Yes. No, not Leo. Orson Bean was on Super Password.
Super Password, that's the game show where you tell someone a password and they give you soup?
No, that was a whole different thing.
Oh.
That was a Russian television show in the
It was
late
all
60s.
borscht.
It was a way for peasants to get soup.
Okay.
Super Password. I liked Password better. I always liked Orson Bean. I don't know. Just to make it to 91, they get hit by a car. It just seems horrible.
Raconteur.
Thank you.
Brad
Pitt.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Let's do this.
This is interesting.
Or...
No thanks.
All right, this is it's a tough one. You know, I know that before I go to that, there's a blues singer named Eddie Kirkland. This guy, I met him like in 2010 when I was making the movie about Driving and Crying. At that time, he was 86 years old. He had been out live. I think he hit the road with John Lee Hooker in 1949. So he was 87 years old, driving himself to the next gig, made a bad U-turn, got hit by a Greyhound bus, and he was gone. It's like an Orson Bean thing. Like, you just think, for some reason, you think like, well, if I make it to 87 or 90, it's surely all I have to worry about is when, the old ticker. How many people die at 91 like Orson Bean with their heart being perfectly fine? I don't know. Maybe I'm dwelling on it too much. I'm thinking
You're worried about your own death?
Well, I'm not worried about my own death. It's just that I know now that in a week or so I got to get the camera, the Johnson cam, the camera put up there where there was nothing ever, was no reason to ever, it was never thought of as a place to put things in.
No.
Until the doctors came along and said, well, we can put a camera in there and we can see things.
Wouldn't you rather have that than that long sterling silver stick they used to have to use?
Oh, what? No, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
you know what? I didn't even know about that, and I would say yes.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming that this is sort of an articulated thing that can kind of move around and bendy. Oh, they're going to Xanax me up or something. I guess I'll be all right.
So you'll go under. They can't do that unless you're out, right?
Totally out?
No, because
I have to have my wife.
Catheter?
My wife has to take me. My wife has to take me in, but I think it's just grogginess. Okay. I'm hoping it's like a propofol.
They're going to roofie you, basically.
Wait a minute, hold on. That killed Michael Jackson.
Oh, the milk?
That's because I had
propofol.
a nap.
But does propofol... Oh, so you completely go to sleep. Yeah, I like that. If people are going to be messing around down there, I'd rather be totally asleep.
Get the gas. Ask for some gas.
I don't think they'll do that.
What is it, 1892?
Propofol is gas.
No, gas like at the dentist.
Look, you're not going to give my...
this feels great.
They're not going to give my Johnson laughing gas.
Oh, it'd be so cute with the tiny mask.
Hey, man, you got any fish?
Oh, so they totally knock you out. You sound like someone who knows, Alan Hunt. I don't want to say anything, but it sounds to me like you're a man who knows how this goes. Oh, he's had 2. Hopefully, I'm hoping if they have to put a camera up there, it's not one of those old 1980s video. It's like a
It's a Super 8.
It's handheld. Yeah, it's
a
okay.
Super 8.
Yeah, they have to crank it.
Yeah, Alan says it's a handheld.
Okay.
Is it like a little light kind of thing? Like a little, did they show it to you or did you see it? Can I request the video? I want the movie afterward.
Yeah, we turned to a reality show.
Yeah,
it's yours. It's your medical record. You're allowed to have it.
I wonder if I could. I put it on my website and say,
You
hey,
definitely
I'll say
could.
it. I'm the most transparent talk show host in America. You can see inside of my genitalia. No, never
advocate for
done
you.
before. Never done before. This guy is breaking all the.
I like this. I can help you.
Dr. Ed,
I can
our
help you, is
erectile
what I'm saying.
dysfunction staff expert. You are creeping me out, man.
buddy, that's right.
There's no reason for me to remove my pants. He's always asking me to take my
Look,
pants off.
I got a swizzle stick.
All right, no. Dr. Ed,
Pipe
no.
cleaner?
All right, what do we do? I have to explain.
Yeah, that'll work.
I have to explain.
Whatever that is, Jared's
So,
holding.
You got a
Jared,
dongle, Dr. Ed.
Jared is going to throw headlines at me.
Yeah.
And my response will either be,
This is interesting.
or,
No thanks.
all right.
All right, this
So,
first one comes from The Hill.
The Hill.
Yes, 1 week later, we finally
Any
have
reality
results. 1 week later, we finally have results from Iowa. Pete Buttigieg ended up getting 14 delegates, followed by Bernie Sanders with 12 delegates. He officially won Iowa.
Well, let's know, first of all, I'm going to say,
This is interesting.
You know, there's a story out there. They have an artificial intelligence machine, a political artificial intelligence machine. I think it's called PAL. I am your political artificial intelligence machine. And it predicted that out of this field, Mayor Pete has the best chance of beating Trump. I don't know if that's true or not. Now, I think it's a lot of stories are still on Sanders. And I think the big story here is that Mayor Pete, nobody knew who the hell he was. And he basically won Iowa. That's kind of a virtual tie, but he won, got the most delegates. Nobody knew who the hell he was. Bernie Sanders, people have known him for the last 5-6 years on the national stage. So it seems to me like he's the real threat here. And you know he's a threat because now Sanders is going after him.
Pete Buttigieg,
He's mad because he's taking money from
40 billionaires.
Give me any of those. All right. Anytime.
Buttigieg.
Do you have any audio of Bernie Sanders talking about Pete Buttigieg?
I do. This is actually him talking about the 40 billionaires.
I'm running against some guys, Pete Buttigieg among others, who have raised campaign funds from over 40 billionaires.
I messed up there.
40 billionaires.
40 billion billionaires.
That's a lot of billionaires. He's getting them from Mars.
Pete Buttigieg.
All the galaxies.
So I guess he's saying it's not that Pete Buttigieg is getting his money from 40 billionaires, but he's running against people, including
Pete Buttigieg.
Which is not Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
That's right.
Then Mayor Pete had things to say, too.
What we can do with that is a plan so expensive that Senator Sanders himself freely admits he has no idea how it's supposed to be paid for. It raises the question of whether the American people deserve somebody who can actually deliver math that adds up.
He's offering, now his campaign is he's going to deliver math that adds up.
I like him. He reminds me of Kennedy.
Or Einstein. He delivered math.
I love math.
He delivered math that adds up, didn't he?
Meth?
Math.
Oh.
No, he said math, not
My
meth.
nephew does that math.
Not bad.
Pete Buttigieg.
That's right. Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. Buttigieg.
Blomberg.
Are you Mike blah, blah, blah,
Mike
blah,
Blomberger.
blah, blah, blah.
Pete Buttigieg and Mike Brumber.
40 billionaires.
Iowa. We got to get back in Biden. He's talking about Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Iowa.
Pennsylvania.
Iowa.
Buttigieg. Buttigieg.
Eric, no worries. I've had the camera up to Johnson, and it's not too bad. You will be slightly awake, and you'll get to watch everything happen on a video monitor right above you. It's pretty crazy, but it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
And I'm only 30. Don't worry.
Well, Alan Hunt says he had it done twice.
Do it again.
Well, you just liked it so much the first time?
Do it again. Do it again. It's not a machine gun.
All right, what are we still playing? Playing? Yeah, it's kind of a game.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
What will he choose?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting?
Is this Brad Pitt again?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Brad Pitt, yes.
You know what's interesting to me is that you guys have spent more time talking about what's interesting than John Bolton got on a spring
We get
thing.
it. We get it. You got nothing. You can apply that to any amount of time, any space.
Cool.
We get it.
Cool.
We get it, Brad.
All right.
You really wanted to hear. Why don't you call John Bolton? I'm sure he would take
I hate
your
him.
call. You hate him?
I think.
Yeah.
Did he work for Bush?
Yeah.
I hate him.
Well, okay, but why do you want to hear from him?
Because I hate Trump worse.
Okay.
I
all right.
think.
All right, Brad.
Cool.
Congrats on the Oscar.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, this next one comes from Fox News.
Oh, that faux news? Well, that's a conservative outlet, isn't it? That's right, Brad. You don't like that Fox News, I'll bet.
No. You know what I like more than Fox News or less?
What? What do you like less?
Stuff.
I thought you were going to say the fact that John Bolton wasn't given time to.
No, the joke I thought of, Tim Andrews thought was probably too dirty.
Oh, you can't do dirty jokes here. It's a family-friendly show.
Thank you.
Tim Andrews is Brad Pitt's conscience.
Yes.
That's right. He lives in my head.
What was your...
All right, here's the headline.
Yeah.
XFL Week 1 recap. Rebooted Football League returns to national spotlight. This is interesting.
I watched a good part of a couple of games, and not bad. I mean, it looked like football.
Good presentation on TV, too.
Yeah. Well, they've got Fox and ESPN doing so they got, and I think the NFL is kind of behind this as a feeder league. The problem is, if you're not in one of the cities that has a team, there's no legacy. There's no one that you love. There's no one that you hate. You don't know who's on each team. It's just you're just kind of, but they're smart. They're branding it as for the love of football, meaning, well, you just watch it because there's no other professional football. I do now. The idea that it's the second best professionals, it's not. It's really, if you think about it, the third best professionals, because the second best are on practice squads all over the NFL. So it's. But some of these guys had off-the-field issues in college, 22, 23 years old. And Aaron Murray did not have a very good first outing. I saw a couple good passes, but what was he on, the Tampa Bay Vipers?
I believe he's on the Vipers.
And
I know I'm a Roughnecks fan.
Are you a Roughnecks fan?
And they won, yeah.
I heard that about you. That's why you had that magazine under your mattress. That's all beginning to make sense to me now. Okay, yeah, okay.
He's
you're
a
consistent.
sports fan.
He's a sports fan.
Hey, way to out me,
Now it
Lisa.
makes
Way
sense.
to out me.
Well, you're a sports fan.
You know,
People need to know.
You're over here saying that as fans, there's no vested interest. You say, listen, I am 100% in for the Roughnecks.
Why? Well, you never. Are they the Houston team?
Yeah,
You've never been to Houston, have you?
I have a couple times.
You visited Houston. This is why you're a Roughnecks fan.
Yeah, until Atlanta gets a team.
Okay.
Atlanta's not going to get a team.
Well, I mean, it's 8 at first, but they're going to want to expand.
Yeah.
Isn't it 8 teams at first?
I've had a layover in Detroit, so I love the Lions.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's why you're a diehard Lions fan.
Yep.
You had a cup of coffee in the airport.
I did.
And so
it was
why
the
not?
best.
You saw other people wearing those. So I think that it kind of fills that need after football isn't there. It seemed pretty well done. Pretty well done.
The kickoff is bizarre.
Well, there's a few different rule kind of things. Now, I didn't see this happen. The kickoff is the ball gets kicked off. No one can move until the receiver catches the ball. This is something that the NFL should think about. And here's why. That's the most dangerous play in football because people are just running full speed and you're running back. And that's why over the last few years they've changed the rule. If you don't bring the ball back out of the end zone, you go to the 25 now. They're giving more incentive to get out of this play. But if you've noticed, there's almost a yellow flag on every kickoff in the NFL because they're trying to take the extremeness out of that play. So why not try this? It might look weird to people, but it's kind of cool. And I didn't see it happen, but I think that there's a 1 point, 2 points, and a 3-point conversion possibility.
That's right. There are no kicked extra points after touchdowns. So instead, teams have an option to run a play to score either 1, 2, or 3 points.
So if you're down by 9, you're still within one score.
Right. So you start at the 2-yard line for 1 point, 5-yard line for 2 points, and at the 10-yard line, you get 3 points.
Yeah, that's really kind of bringing in the 3-point line. I think there's some decent innovations in there. Not good for field goal kickers because pretty soon they're just going to take them out of the game. You know, you wonder when you see these actors and actresses and directors, and you enjoy them in the movies, and you don't mind. It's kind of fun to watch them on the red carpet, and they give each other awards. And
they're all handsome.
It's all supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
And then they go off on some political thing, and you wonder, who are they playing to? Because most people in America feel as if they have the wherewithal to decide who to vote for. Most people who are over the age of, 21, because when you're younger, the people that you think are cool, you are going to take some cues from. But most adults, they say, hey, you're a cool actor, you're a cool singer, whatever. But most people feel like they have what it takes to decide how to vote. So it seems weird to most people. Why do these... it's like you go into a cocktail party and the bartender just says, hey, we got to get rid of Trump as he hands you a beer. Why? You're a bartender. You're supposed to give me a drink. So that's how, but you wonder who they're playing to. And I just saw this. So this is right now. So this is The New Yorker. I get it on my Apple Plus, whatever, the magazines. So Parasite, first foreign language movie to win Best Movie of the Year. Now, the reason Parasite won, if you have seen it, you'll know this. And if you're going to see it, you will know this. And if you haven't seen it, you don't know this. But it's a really good, cool movie. That's why it won. It's South Korean, and so this is the first time. But this is the immediate reaction. You can never please. These are the people, the writers, the New Yorker type writers. So rather than saying, bravo, Oscars 2020, : Parasite's Best Picture win can't redeem the Academy's failings. Rather than just applauding something that you think should or could happen, just point out that it's not enough. And then it was down here. I don't know where exactly. You've got to deal with me as I look. I get to this paragraph. Political anger. So there's people that write about movies and entertainment that just for them, it can't be political enough. For some reason, they believe that it is. These actors have a responsibility to speak out about the politics. I don't know where that comes from, but it's always been there. Like in theater over the years, and it's a working class drama that finally puts Margaret Thatcher in her place. Was it interesting?
Not really.
Was
but it put her in her place.
So this is this guy, the New Yorker's point of view. Political anger is justly in the air at a time of gross misrule, unleashed hatred, abuse of power, and plutocratic plunder. And with this year's Oscars, both in the particulars of the ceremony and the results that it delivered, Academy members faced up to their own symbolic part in the dire state of the union. So when you're sitting back on your couch wondering, who are these actors talking to? Richard Brody from Vanity Fair.
Why aren't they happy? Obama won one.
The New Yorker. Well, it's just not enough. It's never enough. Guys like this, everything that makes you run screaming out of the new Star Wars movies, this guy gets more popcorn. Yes.
So
more.
important.
Correct the past for me, please. That's what a good movie does. A good movie gives voice to the voiceless. I would add, so long as it's interesting and entertaining. And then if you can give voice to the voiceless along the way, it amounts to more, you see, because people actually watch it. Didn't the Obamas win an award for a movie nobody saw? Everybody's talking about American Factory. Boy, I can't go anywhere without somebody talking to me about American Factory. The Obamas win an award because they're the Obamas.
Thank you. We couldn't be there, but...
certain things get word of mouth. I watched this thing the other day. Alan Hunt told me a couple of weeks ago about it. 3 other people. So things get word of mouth. And then you're going through Netflix or whatever I was watching, and it was it's where Bill Belichick and Nick Saban sit down and talk about coaching. And it's fascinating. And I never would have known it was there, whatever, but there was word of mouth. There's no word of mouth about the Obama's documentary, American Factory. By the way, you should watch that. Everybody should watch it. Everybody should watch it just to see what successful people, how they think, how they approach the world.
Saban and Belichick. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Not American Factory.
Okay, gotcha.
I've never seen American. Maybe it's great. I don't know.
It's Marxist.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah. Do you have the lady? What, she was like, was this the producer of it or the director?
Yeah.
She actually said the Karl Marx thing, workers of the world unite.
We believe that things will get better when workers of the world unite.
Yeah, there's another thought that says things get better when the unemployment rate is at 3.6%. Competing thoughts. Boy, that Karl Marx, he just hasn't been given the right. We just gave it more time.
Just hasn't tried it in the right way.
There's part of me that almost wishes that Bernie Sanders would become president, because that would be 4 years of hell, but we would have the closest thing to laissez-faire economics for the next 20 years after that. Once people saw what that did, when you're young, everybody and everything's going to be free because, the only reason that everything isn't free is because you've got a lot of stingy, mean billionaires. And I know the exact number.
40 billionaires.
There's 40 billionaires, Sanders says. And if it wasn't for them being mean and greedy, we could have everything for free. And Bernie Sanders is going to go and he's going to talk to those
40 billionaires.
And he's going to tell them, no, you can't be mean anymore. And we're going to allow people to have stuff for free. Because if it wasn't for those
40 billionaires,
everything would be free. It would rain oranges.
It's just not cool.
It's just not cool. Is your economic analysis.
Like my credit card was due last week.
Yeah,
so maybe a billionaire could just loan me a money, whatever.
Why don't you get rid of your credit card?
Oh, come on, Bernie.
Oh, wait a minute.
Like, it's my dad.
Wait a minute. Your dad will pay for you. You're fine.
I know, but he got really mad last time.
40 billionaires.
Can't some 40 billionaire give me, some money?
It's no skin off their back, right?
It's not. Like, they have billions of dollars. Can't they just throw me $2,000?
Everyone would be happy.
Yeah. And what's, the debt? You know what I mean?
Boy, when they said Obama was a socialist, I know now the producer of the movie that he wins an Oscar, workers of the world unite.
So I always wanted to say that. I couldn't. So now that I'm not the president, I can produce these films.
I got some news for you. They've already united in Mao's China, in the Soviet Union. Oh, those were paradises. I think it's hilarious. China still calls itself communist. The only reason it still exists in its present form is because they took the lifeline of capitalism so they could start feeding their people. You know what's going on in Venezuela? Not really reported all that much. There are pockets of, how come this Maduro is still in power after this time? You know what he's done? He's unleashed a little bit of capitalism in a few different places. And people are starting, okay, all right, we've got food in the grocery. Say, I love when these dictators decide, hey, you know what? Let's put a little capitalism into this communism. We can stick around a little bit longer.
Well, what's that thing about education or about about history and how it's doomed to repeat itself?
Well, that is absolutely correct. But if you don't know history, then you're doomed to repeat it.
Because people maybe listening, young people don't know that. Workers of the World Unite is
ever been used before? We know what the problem
it's that sounds great. We should all unite. The workers should unite. That sounds good.
What young people don't know is that young people are usually pretty foolish. They don't find this out until they're older.
Yeah.
So while they're young, how could you be, if you're 26 years old, stop and sit down and think for a moment. Do you really think you have to pay back your student loan simply because
40 billionaires
are really mean? Like, everybody could have everything, and the billionaires would still be rich. So it's got nothing to do with wealth. They're actually just mean. They like to see people suffer because what they know is that if the
40 billionaires
just made everything for free, they'd still be rich and we'd all be happy. So there's no reason not to do it except for the fact that they're actually just mean.
Yeah.
Are you a mid-20s adult thinker, or are you a child?
Can I be both?
Well, I think you're, it's like...
I'm adulting right now because I'm listening to you, so I get it.
Thank you. It's like, my banana story. You know my banana story. It's a very famous story from my childhood.
The one with the camera?
No, that's the Johnson story.
Oh, sorry.
The Johnson cam is not a banana cam.
Okay, gotcha.
If it's the size of a banana, you'll never see me again. The banana story is that after my father took off, my mom had to go back to work, so she worked late at night, and I woke up early in the morning to go to school, and she'd be out, sleeping pills out. And one time I snuck in, like I was in the military. I was just crawling, like I was underneath those, they crawl like in the tough mudder, under the barbed wire. Yeah. I'm crawling in, and I get to her purse, and I got $20 out. And before I caught the bus that morning, I went down to the store, and I thought, I'm unleashed now. And no adult is going to tell me what to do. I bought a whole bunch of bananas. and ate them all before the bus came. And it was probably about 6 hours later that I realized, adults don't tell you can only have one banana just because they're mean. There's actually a reason you're not supposed to sit down and eat 6 bananas. Because then you're sitting down on the toilet for a very, very long time, and it's not fun. That's when I learned my lesson. Adults, all the rules that adults give us, they're not just because they feel like being mean. There's a reason that you're not supposed to eat 6 bananas in one sitting. And this is the same idea here. But, if it wasn't for those
40 billionaires
being mean and greedy, it's just easy. Like I say, it would rain oranges if they'd allow it. We'd all eat all the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we were supposed to go to the mailbag.
Yeah,
You have
open
time?
it up.
Hey, come on, open it up.
It's Mailbag Monday. We've got the open mics, Facebook messages, and emails we've collected from the week.
We've opened the mailbag, not the
partisan forces of hell.
Hell.
Partisan forces of hell.
Hell.
All right, this open micer has some advice for you, Eric. You talked about how you're going to potentially retire in about 9.5, 10 years.
I believe I've said the day that I'm going to retire. Wasn't it May 26th, 2029?
I believe you did say that date. And this
It's a
open
Friday.
This open micer has some advice for you.
Hey, Haessler.
Hey.
Danny from Dallas.
All right, Danny.
You're a smart guy.
Thank you.
I really hope you are recording all the conversations that you and the Doctrinaires have between yourself on the breaks. I'm not saying release it anytime soon, but it may be a form of income to release it after you retire.
You know what? It's funny. First of all, Alan told me that he does it, but he's doing it for blackmail purposes.
I'll show you Christmas reel.
I actually was thinking about this over the weekend, about how we should actually videotape everything, not to put it out in streaming or anything, but there are interesting moments where we come up with stuff just a minute before we go back on, and it turns into something really cool. And it might be, I wasn't thinking about waiting until I retired, but it might be kind of cool once a month just to gather the best 10 minutes or 15 minutes and put it out there. I'm trying to figure out a way to get another stream of revenue going. I don't think that's going to be it.
Write a book.
I'm too lazy.
If you thought J-Lo and Shakira were hot, you should see Eric on the pole and hear Mark's turkey call. Their lips don't lie. Eric Von Haessler, weekdays at 9. Mark Aram, weeknights at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
All right, you got a little more mailbag?
Yeah, there's a lot of love
Mailman?
There's a lot of love for Tim Andrews in this mailbag.
I'm glad, because I knows about Tim Andrews.
What do you notice? What observation are you going to make now that's inappropriate and wrong?
Hold on now. A little feisty over there, pal. So you were saying something to him. You were saying, I'm going to play this audio of somebody, and we're about to play it here.
Yeah.
And what I notice is that Tim gets mad when he doesn't understand what you're saying. Like, it's always like, what? What is, I don't know what you're talking, what? It's like.
Sometimes he speaks really fast and there's no point to what he's saying.
I know, but I don't get the flash anger over it. Like,
Well,
to say, I don't understand what you're saying. What do you?